Is Google really challenging Nvidia right now? Well, that's what the market seems to think, as we can see recent reports that Google claims its custom AI supercomputer outperforms Nvidia systems. So is this a rival Google is trying to make, or is this just hype to get some clicks? Let's take a closer look in today's episode. So pretty interesting day for the stock market today. Most tech stocks are down today. We can see Alphabet, as I am recording, is down roughly 0.3%. Then if we take a closer look at Nvidia, though, Nvidia is taking a huge hit. It's down roughly 2.4%. I do want to say this seems more like a semiconductor market mover opposed to anything else, because we can also see a big player like Advanced Micro Devices down roughly 3.4%. Let's take a closer look at the semiconductor ETF. So we can definitely see that this is mainly a semiconductor event and not anything market specific. But regardless, we get the opportunity to make it seem like it is, right? A lot of reports have come out that Google says that its AI computer is much faster and much greener than Nvidia's A100 chip, and many are saying that this could be one of the main reasons the stock is down today. So first, I want to take a closer look at this Google chip and kind of just explain it. If you are familiar with this channel, you are already familiar with Google's TPU, right? Their tensor processing unit. And Google, I keep saying Nvidia, but Google is already in their 4th generation. They've been building TPUs, I believe, since 2015 or 2016, and they continue to release new generations. These tensor processing units are machine learning accelerators designed by Google. Cloud TPUs make TPUs available as a scalable Google Cloud resource. You can run machine learning workloads on cloud TPUs using machine learning frameworks such as TensorFlow, PyTorch, and JAX. So right off the bat, we did learn a few things. First, this is a machine learning accelerator. It is designed by Google, and its main workload seems to be machine learning. So it's not really capable or meant to be used for other types of workloads. That's important to remember. The second thing that we learned from here is that the only place you can find Google's TPUs is if you use Google Cloud. So the accessibility of these machine learning accelerators are only found in one place, Google Cloud. Before we go any further, I want to thank you for watching, and I need your help to reach my goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. Also, if you want some fantastic insight into the semiconductor industry, join my other channel, Semiconductor Investing and More, where I use my electrical engineering background to break down the semiconductor market. Finally, I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode. So kind of focusing in what happened today. So today, April 5th, Google Cloud released some information of their new supercomputer. I'm saying new, right? The information is new, but they've been running this supercomputer since 2020. And through this presentation, pretty much Google is just showcasing that its new TPU version 4 is much faster than its previous generation, the TPU v3. And they kind of mention how this supercomputer has roughly 4,000 TPU chips interconnected. And right here is a pretty cool image. And they say that this is 1/8 of the v4 Google Pod. I think this is insane how much these data center chips have. And continuing in this presentation, we continue to see how this version 4 is much better than version 3. They continue to show charts. They even mention that Midjourney, one of the leading text to image AI startups, has been using Cloud TPU v4 to train their state-of-the-art model. So if we take a closer look at that presentation, we didn't see Nvidia A100 called out by name. So we actually only saw TPU version 4 being compared to version 3. And I want to say this is something that Google, there's someone always behind these presentations and these kind of newsletters that go out into blogs. And I want to say one thing that Google wanted to showcase here is that, hey, we're just showcasing the strength of our product. We're not trying to kind of make enemies or compete with anybody in specific. So why are we seeing these kind of headlines? And that's because that report that we just saw was based on this academic presentation that Google Alphabet also presented. And here they do talk about the A100 and Nvidia's kind of platform. So here we can get a little bit more information of Google's TPU version 4. It was a product deployed in 2020 and it's running on a 7 nanometer die size. This is very similar to Nvidia's A100. If we take a closer look at Nvidia's A100, this is also a die size of 7 nanometers and it was also released in 2020. Now, throughout this presentation, they do compare the A100 versus the TPU V4, and we could see the A100 is this blue one, the TPU V4 is this orange one. In numerous cases, the TPU beats and outperforms the A100. Now, here in the comments section, they did mention that the reason they compared it versus the A100 and not the H100 is because both the A100 and the TPU version 4 came out on roughly the same time in 2020, and both used the 7 nanometer technology. So there was no point in comparing it to the H100. They also mentioned that the TPU version 4 is roughly 1.2 to 1.7 times faster and 1.3 times 1.9 times lower power than the A100. All right, so here is where they're kind of battling with Nvidia one way or another. I don't believe they're trying to make competition, and this is the reason. First, when we're taking a closer look at faster performance, we have to remember a few things. That this TPU is only meant to be done for machine learning workloads, where the A100 is more general purpose unit, which is meant to be done for or meant to be used for a lot more. So obviously, if you create a product that's very specific for one system or for one workload, it should outperform a general product. And that's what they're saying, and that's what we're seeing here. The same time here is when you're kind of creating a product just for one workload and one form of solution, because you don't need to worry of other stuff, you can also make it better power efficiency. And that doesn't mean that Nvidia doesn't have anything to compete with this. Nvidia does have the L4 GPUs, which are still general processing units, but they are mainly they're mainly optimized for a certain type of workload, and we can guess it, that type of workload is AI. And obviously they're partnering up with Google. Google is actually the first one to bring this L4 GPUs to their systems. So here we can see the L4 Tensor Core GPU is meant to accelerate video, AI, and graphics workload. They do mention that the L4 is a cost-effective, energy-efficient solution. It's more power efficient than its A100 for H100 because it is optimized for a specific workload. So while Google, I want to say, is very impressive with them developing their own TPU, I want to say this is more a competition versus other cloud providers opposed to Nvidia. And let me explain why. Anybody, Google Cloud, Microsoft, or Amazon can go and buy a Nvidia system. So what makes them different from each other? Amazon has their Graviton CPUs, which might make it different for someone who wants more lower cheap general processing workloads. But maybe if you're looking for something in the AI workload and want something cheaper, you might want to go to Google's cloud platform because they have the TPU. Overall, all these cloud providers need some form of general system because that's not the only workload they need to provide. They need to provide a variety of workload optimized solutions, and that's where Nvidia comes for. So let me know, what are your thoughts on Google Cloud and their TPU system? So hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.